Now I shall tell you all the parable of the net. See, there once was a fisherman who threw his net in the water. He caught many fish that day, and when his net was full, he left the lake.
Fish.
The man then separated the good fish from the bad fish and put the good fish in a basket, but discarded the bad ones.
These fish ugly. Yeet.
This story of the fisherman represents how things will be at the end times. An angel will separate the righteous from the unrighteous. The righteous will ascend into heaven, but the wicked will be cast into the fiery pits of hell.
Right this way.
There will be much weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Good evening, and welcome to Toby Wants to Ask You a Question. Tonight, I am going to be here with Blobbert, the acclaimed director of the upcoming 2019 film, The Parable of the Net. Please welcome Blobbert.
Why, thank you, Toby-Wan. Happy to be here.
So, Blobbert, do you think you could tell me a little bit about your upcoming film?
I directed and starred in the film, as you already know. It is a retelling of the parable of the net from the book of Matthew.
Why did you decide to choose this parable to make a film about? And what is this parable about exactly?
This parable always stands out to me when I read Jesus' parables. I thought it would be an interesting challenge to bring the story to the big screen. This parable is about a fisherman. When fishing one bright sunny day, this fisherman collects many fish in his porous net. When going through the fish, he keeps the good fish and puts them in a basket, but he throws away the subpar fish. Jesus relates this story to how things will be at the end of times. An angel will separate the good people from the bad people. The good people will go to heaven, and the bad people will go to hell.
That sounds like a very interesting story, Blobbert. How has this story impacted your life?
It has reminded me that what kind of people we are is important not only in this life, but in the next life as well. It is important to be good to everyone we meet and bring a smile to the faces of others throughout the day. I don't want to be a bad fish. Ha 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 ha
Ha Blobbert, you're so funny.
Thank you.
Jesus told this story 2,000 years ago. How do the reactions of the listeners then compare to those of us hearing this story in present day? Does this change your perception of Jesus?
That's exactly what is so fascinating about Jesus' parables, especially this one. They stand the test of time. I believe this story has the same meaning now as it did back then. When we hear this parable, we likely interpret the message the same way Jesus' listeners did. I am amazed by Jesus' storytelling ability. He was able to tell stories that are still relevant 2,000 years later. This parable in particular showcases Jesus' knowledge and wisdom about the afterlife, and it shows us just how important it is to behave ourselves. You see, he was a master storyteller, Toby-Wan.
Wow, I'd never really thought about it like that before. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you, Blobbert, for coming on my show. It's always a pleasure when you stop by.
Thanks for having me, Toby-Wan.
Have a good night, everybody.